Hey everyone, Selwyn here from Wynn. On today's video, I'll be doing a quick review of Dymatize Nutrition 100% Elite Whey. I recently got through a 10-pound bag and I'm currently going through a 5-pound tub. So here's my quick experience as to how I like the product, and we'll do a little bit of an ingredient deep dive to see if this is the right protein powder for you. So you probably see this at the stores. You can get this pretty much anywhere. Amazon is a great place to buy it with the upcoming Black Friday sales. I'd recommend keeping an eye out on getting it at a better price point. We can see here that it retails for 80 bucks. I pick it up in around that $65 to $70 range, and that's just on sporadic sales around the year. But with this Black Friday sales, keep an eye on the price point. Keep it at the different flavors too, because some flavors go on sale while other ones don't. Hopefully with Black Friday there'll be some good sales coming up. I'll leave some links below for the Dymatize Whey, so you can check that out and hopefully pick up a good bag. You do get, in a 10-pound box, you do get 133 serves, and working it out to a per protein or per gram of protein per serve point, it's around 2.4 cents per gram of protein and about 60 cents per serve. So when you look at it from that perspective, even though yes, it might seem like a lot, when you're getting that many serves of high quality protein, it's actually a pretty good deal. Here are the nutritional facts. The one thing I do like about the protein is it is just protein. You're not throwing in any extra things there for the sake of throwing in extra stuff. It's not something I like. My personal preference is protein powder should just be protein powder. Don't add anything else in there, not even creatine. Get the creatine separately and add that in yourself. You can see here it's pretty good macro breakdown. After all said and done, we have here the calories, 140 calories, 3 grams of fat, 2 grams of carbohydrates, and 25 grams of protein, which is kind of awesome. And when we break it down to like a per scoop serve, you're only getting 4 grams of like filler material that isn't accounted for in these fats, proteins, carbs breakdowns, which I think is awesome because you don't really want to pay for any filler, obviously. You want to pay for as much protein as you can, as possible. And now the ingredient profile will change depending on the flavors. I mean, it kind of goes without saying. I am preferential to gourmet vanilla. That's my favorite flavor, although the Fruity Pebbles is something I picked up on sale, and that's been pretty much amazing. It feels like I'm drinking cereal after every workout. But you'll see here just the slight differences in ingredient profile depending on what flavor you get. Rich chocolate kind of has cocoa powder and some salt, just for that flavor profile. So if you're allergic to any flavors, just do a little bit of a scan through over the ingredients in each protein tub, and you find out if there's anything there that's not going to agree with your nutritional intake needs. So we'll go down onto a ingredient profile breakdown. The first obvious main ingredient is going to be their whey protein blend. For the most part, you have to list ingredients in their order of quantity. So they list it as concentrate, then isolate, then hydrolized concentrate breakdown. So we're going to assume that it has a higher concentration of concentrate. Next being isolate, then they kind of fill in the rest of that protein serving with some hydrolized whey concentrate. Okay, so here we have kind of the basic way that they make whey protein. It's a dairy manufacturing process. Quick run, then you probably dive deeper in if you really want to know. Basically, they take milk, separate the curds and the whey, and then that allows us to get some whey protein powder. All this to say is that when you look at concentrate, as long as it's derived from whey, whether that be whey concentrate, whey isolate, hydrolyzed whey, it's all coming from the same source, which is milk, and then it's just a byproduct of manufacturing the milk for milk purposes. And the difference between the isolate and the concentrate is really just the filtration process. Isolate, you're going to get more amino acids and a higher protein content per serve, and concentrate is going to contain less protein per serve and more fats and carbohydrates. Why would you want to have the difference? Basically, price point. Isolate's going to have a better filtration process that's going to filter out more fats and more carbs. So that's just a slightly more expensive way of creating that type of protein. So here we just have a quick basic comparison between the two of them. Again, one's not superior than the other. You might want more fats and carbs in your protein blend for whatever reason. For the most part, if you're lactose intolerant, I'm lactose intolerant. I prefer protein blends that have a bit more isolate in them. The reason I kind of tend to stay away from pure isolate protein powders is just because the cost becomes prohibitive. 10-pound bags of protein with a blend is a lot cheaper than a 10-pound bag of straight isolate, just because of the way that the manufacturing is. So keep that in mind, get that balance of price point, but generally the higher the isolate concentration, the more expensive and the easier it is going to be on that stomach if you are lactose intolerant. Again, we have a quick side-by-side here, so you can see even just the straight calorie count, you're getting 20 more calories in the concentrate versus the isolate, and slightly more protein there, and you're really getting no protein, no carbs and no fats in the isolate. And that's really where the benefit of that is. But again, that comes at the cost of more price. Okay, so then we get to this hydrolized whey, and that's really, as you can see here, they're just adding another step in that breakdown process by adding some water to help bind more of that protein in, to allow it to be more faster digestible in the stomach. So they're breaking down some of those amino acid chains to make it a little bit easier for the stomach to break down, quicker absorption, things like that. I don't think it's that necessary, but companies like doing this to add some new ingredients, I guess. So take it for what it is. It is in there, and it's not a bad ingredient. It's just unnecessary in my opinion. And here we have the amino acid profile breakdown from Dymatize. It's nice that they've given you each individual amino acid. Really, we're just concerned with essential amino acids because those are the amino acids that our body can't create internally. We can't synthesize those, so that's why they're essential to the diet. And I've taken this from examine.com, which is an ideal amino acid profile for what we choose to eat. So whether that be like a chicken or a steak or protein powder, you kind of want these amino acids per serve to help us provide the body the essential amino acids that it needs in specific ratios, because a protein is just a blend of all these amino acids. So if you're only ever getting leucine, you're not actually getting a full serve of protein, you're only getting one part of protein. So you want to be sure to kind of check the what amino acids are included in that, and it kind of clue you in if there's like amino acid spiking, because we can just throw in a cheap amino acid and bring up that protein content just because of the way the reporting laws allow for. Technically it is protein, so we're adding one of these, you can increase the amount of protein you can report on the label. So when we go across here, I've kind of broken down the ratio based on a per serve unit. So you can see here that we're sticking pretty close to most of them. Nothing's insane. We just have this lysine's a little high, and the lowest one is going to be the valine from the BCAAs. I don't think there's anything too crazy there. With the ratios here, we're comparing what the ratio was here based on what we deem a complete protein versus what we're doing here with the Dymatize. It tracks pretty closely, so I think we're pretty safe here, being that Dymatize is doing a really good amino acid profile in their protein powder. And then we finally move on to those other ingredients. These are all the other ingredients that it listed in the label, and really they're just there to give the flavor as well as to give texture when you drink that. So it's not something I really like to dive into too deeply, just because while yes, some of the ingredients have health benefits, they're not included in the product for those health benefits, nor are they included in any health promoting effects. So I don't think there's a need to review them. Let's just go over them so you have an idea of what you're putting in your body. So the first one is soy lecithin. Again, this is just here to improve that texture of the product, so it's not too thick and it's not too thin. Most of the whey products try to emulate texture of milk or like a smooth shake. I think the soy lecithin is helping with that. The sucralose and acesulfame potassium, two artificial sweeteners, again, that help with the taste. Both FDA allowed, no negative health outcomes are associated with either of these in significant quantities, but they don't put it in that high of amount to deem a health risk. I guess if you were looking at your diet overall, looking to see how much of these artificial sweeteners are coming in, as a whole every day, and if that's a problem, maybe look at cutting back some of the other ones. If you are sensitive to that artificial sweetener taste, this might be an issue for you. The next up is going to be the gum blending, and this is going to be huge in creating that smooth texture that you'd like. Some protein powders have a powdery and gritty taste, and it's probably because they didn't quite get this right with the amount they're putting in. And again, we just have cellulose, xanthan gum, and carrageenan. All of them are considered FDA safe for consumption, so nothing I'd really worry about. If you want to dive into each one of them, you can look into them, but for the most part, you're pretty safe eating these, especially in the quantities included in a scoop of protein. Come to the drinkability, I've only had either vanilla or Fruity Pebbles, two amazing flavors. I mix them with either water for the most part. Every now and then I'll mix it with like some milk, lactose-free milk, and I think it tastes great either way. The milk is slightly better just because you do have that slight creaminess from the milk coming in and mixing with them, but the water is totally acceptable. Not a big fan of warm water, but it's doable. Ideally, you're mixing it in with a cold glass of water and just shake it up. You don't need any special shakers, any special gizmos. Just shake it up for like 10 seconds and it comes out smooth. There's no residual powderiness or no residual grittiness. It really just tastes like you're drinking a really thin smoothie or a really thin milkshake. Your mouthfeel is perfect. Some protein powders out there have that chalkiness to them or like a weird aftertaste. This is great, and I think that comes down to how they've balanced those gum blends and those different artificial sweeteners to come up with a nice flavor profile here. So these are all the available flavors as of November 2021. I think it's a great range. You're probably going to find something here that suits your flavors. You suit your taste. Fruity Pebbles is kind of amazing. If you see this on sale and you like that cereal, pick it up because they've somehow managed to make this protein powder taste like Fruity Pebbles, like to the T. And coming down to quality now, I feel pretty safe saying that what's in the bag, what's labeled on the bag is what's in the bag. From a few points here, they do have their good manufacturing processes, GMP manufacturing facilities, and they are informed choice certified. So if you're in a sport that needs this is what you need to look for if you're competing. And finally, one of their other protein powders received an A on labdoor.com. This specific protein powder wasn't listed there, but given that they're all made in the same plant, I would feel safe kind of just transferring that through to their other products, knowing that at the very least, what's on the label is what's going to be in your cup. So a little bit of corporate information. Again, this is to help with that quality content. Dymatize is owned by Post Holdings. It owns, and Bellring Brands is one of the subsidiaries. I couldn't find any negative news stories or news articles, social media posts relating to the quality of the protein, any sort of weird scandals regarding bad products, anything to do with the nutrition or the quality of food products they're putting out. And given that they're a publicly traded company, that kind of adds to that. If there was something wrong, there's a lot of shareholders that have a lot at stake here. So given that slight piece of information, I think that if there was any sort of negative news related to the protein powders or the nutritional products that they release, it will definitely be placed under a little bit more scrutiny than a private label manufacturer or someone that isn't quite held up to the same microscope as someone that's responsible for other people's money. So take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, because we're not in the plant and a lot of publicly traded companies do bad things, but given that I couldn't find any articles regarding their quality of nutritional choices, at the very least you can be safe knowing that what's on the labels, what's in the bag, and what they're reporting is pretty much going to be what you're going to get. So another factor that allows me to kind of lean towards this is a good quality product. So you probably want to pause here. And here's a quick run-in of different protein powders that you widely see available. Dymatize is at the top, and then Optimum Gold is like right underneath that. We can see here that the cool thing with Dymatize Elite is it's really affordable even at that standard retail price. So if you can get Dymatize Elite on sale, it's going to just bring that cost down. It is it is the cheapest per serve protein powder available and these are all retail prices, no sale prices going on here. And that's if you buy that 10-pound bag. Again, once you see that on sale, it's going to be awesome. Final rating and review. When I give this 5 tubs, I think it's a great protein powder. The only slight issue might be that there's a higher concentrate of isolate content in the scoop. So if you're lactose intolerant, you might not find this agreeable with your stomach, depending on how sensitive you are. But if not, I think it's a great protein. You're getting a good protein per serve. If you see it on sale, definitely pick up a bag or like 20, because this will just sit in your cupboard and you can just use this for any kind of situation you might possibly want, knowing that if you want to lose weight, it's a low calorie count. If you want to gain weight, just add in some healthy fats, also make sure carbohydrates and some fruits, and you're going to get a good weight gain shake. And in and of itself, it counts as a great shake for weight management and portion control. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you like Dymatize 100% Elite Whey. I'm a big fan of it. This is one of my go-to proteins. The other go-to protein is that Optimum Gold Standard. Those two just take up cupboard space, because I'll just buy those as many as I can afford at a time whenever I see them on sale. This has been Selm from Wynn, and remember, a better life through strength.